safety feature. That's what it is. Oh, that's what I stuff. Whoops. Oh yeah, making a stream. Sorry about that. Just took a couple of seconds. The stream wasn't doing what it needed to do. So, and I'm caught on something. Sorry about that. Yeah. So this video today, well, be a couple, but this first one has been busy in that. But I want to show on how to recover files from disks that don't have any RSs, or if your RSs crash. So basically, I'm going through a few things on how to transfer data and stuff. I may do a separate video of how to recover files, because I know basic how to, and maybe an idea for basic people who are doing it, because I know there've been odd things happening with some updates. And I've got another one that I want to concentrate more on the Cronus and stuff, so I'll be doing with those later on. And if I've got time after this one, I'll be doing an installation video as well. So I'm going to do a few things, but what I'm doing today is showing how to access hard drives and also cloning the hard drives as well, because I've got a few disks to tech, and this is something people might want to know. So what I've got here is a few hard drives. So I have a solid state, which is a 2.5. This one contains Windows 10 and a Linux Mint on this one. I can't remember my laptop before. We'll swap the laptop over, but so that needs to be accessed because if I remember rightly, Windows will work straight away in any machine, but Linux will work fine. But I've enabled some of the driver modifications. If I swapped it in this machine, it will not boot, so that's why. But I'll show how to access it. I'll be wiping this anyway, there's nothing information on it, but I'll show how to access the different OSs, so that's why, and also how to find 10. This came out a second-hand laptop I got somewhere. The driver's failing, because I might have showed us previously about this, but the operating system still boots, and I'll be cloning this one to show you how you can actually recover machines that are almost failing to a point that you can access the data off it, but also transfer it to another hard drive and work as before. So that's what that is. And this hard drive has some data. I can't remember what I have. It came from a 98 machine I have. It's my backup drive. But I want to show you how you can access this drive with any machine, because it can happen. and the other drive is what I'm using to a spare drive. May use it here, may not use it here. And I've got a few other drives in it as well, so that's what we'll do. So, well, anyway, for this is basically, I get occasionally people have issues where either the machines are failing, or either the virus is failing, or have drives and they've forgot what to do with it. Normally, what you would do is, if the machine works, you can just copy stuff off. But if the machines fail, for instance, if the operating system's damaged, corrupt files, virus, anything else, or hard drives failing, most people can't figure out how to recover it. So what I'll show is that it's easy to transfer data from one to the other. The more easiest thing, most of the time, is to just get hold of an external caddy, one of those either USB dock or USB connector, plug it in and plug it into a USB port, and then your machine, and boot up an external drives. If you can take the drive out, you can't take the drive out, for instance, if it's inside a laptop or an unremovable device. You can use boot up tools to access it and plug another drive in to transfer. Or if you've got another tower, you can put the drive in there as a secondary drive and read it off. So there's loads of different ways of getting stuff off the data, but there's one small thing. Like I said, this thing also contains a Linux system, which is different partition than a Windows, so it will not read that. But if you boot up from an actual Linux tool, like any live CD and everything else, you can actually access both partitions, and that's a more easy way to copy drive stuff off, and I find it easier. So yeah, that's what we can do with the. So that's what I'm going to do here. So I'm generating a test system here, which works with everything, but also this system has both type of hard drive controllers, an IDE and a SATA, because that's what I'm saying now. This drive is also an IDE. It's the old style pins in it. Most machines don't have any way to access this. It's either a Cradle or another system like this. So this is how it's handy, and that's what I'm going to be doing. Like I say, this is fine, but I'll just show you how to access it. This one is failing, and I want to show you how you can actually get stuff off it, but also how to do other things with it. So that's the first thing I do, is clone it, because that takes a bit longer than anything else. And I'll just explain. So what I'm going to do first is create the images, set up the images for how you get the software now. So I'm going to do that now, and then set everything up. So I'll switch to my desktop on the side here. So, oops, caught myself. So what we need first is a few software. All software links are in the below the description. Sorry, and it's all the stuff I normally use. So first of all, if you go to Rufus, this is a little program that is designed to create bootable media on a flash drive. So you can make a boot Windows, Dynastic disk, anything. This will create it onto a flash drive, which is very handy and knows what type of drive and anything else. So you need this. So you go to the site here, go down to the bottom, then there's a portable and a standard. This is not an installation file, so whatever you want to select, it will be there. But the portable creates a little file which you take with you, so you can keep your settings. That's what it is. So you just download this. I already downloaded this earlier on today, so I won't do this. So just click on it and download. And it's a very good tool for doing general boot up disks and that. The other one I need is a bootable Dynastic disk. This is a tool I use a lot. This is from Altered Boot CD. When you go to the site and click on the right contents, it says UBCD Live. This is what you want for this type of work I'm doing here. So this is a live CD. Works in the Linux system, and basically when it boots up, it gives you loads of tools. So you can, like, for instance, clone, erase, and it's access the hard drive, so you can draw data over each other. So this is a very handy tool. So you just go, and below it gives you all the tools which you have on it, so you can see that, like rescue disks and everything else. So it's a very handy little tool. So you go down here and then download it whatever way. And once you download it, any file which is ISO, I recommend checking its checksums, which which is this little box here. Which is a box here which I'm highlighting now. These are the checksums. A lot of programs that have this checksum for a reason, because sometimes you've downloaded something, or you may have interruption, you may have to not download it fully, and if it doesn't match, it could either the program doesn't execute, or it doesn't, or the ISO doesn't work. But also sometimes you could accidentally go to a link which may look the same, similar file, but someone's tampered with it to do some odd things. So, where you can check this, there's a site called onlinemd5.com, which is here, and all you do is drag any file into the little drag box here, and it uploads it, and then you select which type of checksum, and it brings it in these little boxes here, and then you can actually compare it with the code here. Normally it's the large digit codes. If they match, you've got a good copy. If it's not, you may have to download it again or check another link. So this is very handy for that, because I've had a few times with this where I downloaded it, it wouldn't work, and I find out that it's not the right one, or the disk was damaged. So that's handy, but that's how that works, that one. So Ultimate Boot, you go down here, it's latest version here, and it's 468 megabytes. It's only a small program, so we work with majority of flash or CDs. And the other one I do is the actual main UBCD as well. This is the actual, what the site is famous for, is the little boot Dynastic disk. So this contains loads of different tools to run. The reason I'm doing this because after I do all this, I need to reset the drives. So yeah, so that's why I'm going to use this also. Also, this has some free cloning tools. For it's 700 megs, and like before, you just download it and check its checksum to make sure it works. But this tool is very handy for that. Like I say, I already downloaded all this today, so that's the general. And the cloning tool I'll use is from a Cronus, which is a very large company that deals with backups and all these sorts of things. And I do have this backup as well. But what I say is, I will show this at a later date, because I think it's a very nice backup tool, and I want to go more in depth on it. So yeah. Sorry, just checking everything over at the moment. That's not working. Yes, it's a general tool. I'll go for more in depth of this in a moment. So where you get the rest of the tool, you go to your account. You can any version of Cronus. You only download the OS to the latest Cronus you have. So this is where the account sits. And I see I've got the latest True Image Premier, which is version 19. So I have the latest thing. I'll do another video more in depth on this, because like I say, it was a handy little tool I found. But I want to go to the downloads, which is here. And it brings up all what I can do, so I can either download the main installation file. This is the Cronus software itself. Like I say, I'd go down at a later date, and then you've got the bootable media. So this is what you need to boot up. This is normally you always create a boot up rescue disk, so you can do your recovery and do the cloning. Also, you have to make sure. So first of all, I need to switch down here, because this has got Mac version to Windows version. Monthly legal is monthly legal, and this drop top because all the versions, you want the latest one as possible. So the bootable here, like before, you just click on it, and it will download the image, which is the latest version and the latest one. This is what has been downloaded. It's for the checksum. Oops. I like the checksum because the checksums are to verify. I always do this if I do an OS images, because you could accidentally, like I say, if it messed up, it can be recovered. So that's that. So that's what got all the codes there. Close it down for now, and then I'll just go to the let's go to where images are stored. So Rufus is here. Let's just go to where you downloaded Rufus. So this is the what Rufus looks like. So I need to set up a flash drive for that. So just give me a tick the right drive. Let's just use one of these drives for now. plug the flash drive in so you can see it's found the device. If you put multiple flash drives in, then you need to click on this drop box and select which one, or you can select the, so that's it, that's the drive here. And then you need to press select here to select what type of image, to bring it all up. And setting up a Cronus, so click the Cronus here. Like I say, you got that's the live CD, that's the booters, and that's the image. So select your image, click open. This is very easy. It identifies what type of system, so you don't need to press many of these buttons. There's the image here. Partition scheme. This would only be for if you have Windows 7 onwards. There's two type of formats, but you would leave it on this one. So that's one there. So I'm going to select the rectal UFO on screen. So it does all of that for the general stuff here. Like I say, so master boot, if you're on target. You don't want to do this by mistake, because this could actually access your hard drives by mistake. So the machine knows what it is, so that's that. You can also check the temp sum to make sure it's actually working. So yes, it brings up the check time temp. There's another way you can check that. It means that the say actually can then go to where you downloaded it to verify. So there's another way to check, double check. So that's it. It creates. That's the meter it's going to create, and it's already defaulted to that. So that's that. 16 gigs. That's image. That's the boot, and there's that. So that's all that. And then click on the start. It says. It takes us the hybrid disk, so you just press this image file. I recommend doing that. And you get a warning saying all data on this disk will be destroyed. Click OK to continue, or click quit to cancel. So if you accidentally put the wrong flash drive in when you want to check it, you can click cancel and just check it and then go through the process again. But I know what's on this drive, so that's fair enough. And now it's going to create a new disk. So that's now done. It's ready. It's now done. So you can close the program and then check the drive. So that's that done. So that's all created. And I've already created the other two earlier on. So that's all done for that machine for now. Just go back to the camera for now. I already made the other images earlier on, so you do it for each one and then you can set it up. So excuse me. So what you need to do is the easiest thing to set up with first. So the first thing we need to do is I'm going to show you how to clone this drive first, so we can easily do that. So you simply hook this up to so you need two hard drives. There's already one in here which is a test drive, so I'm not worried about what happens to this. It's a 250 drive and this is a 160. So when you clone a hard drive, you want it to be identical to identical. So this is a 160 gig hard drive and the one's 250, so the cloning will work upwards. But you can clone down. For instance, if I was going to say transfer this to a solid state and it was a smaller drive, you can always fit this on, but it only goes by whatever size you use. So as long as you don't have the data over the certain limit of what you're putting it on, you can easily drop down size. And the Cronus is pretty good. Some free software don't, they're only allowed to go up, not down. So yeah, so that's the advantage. So I'm going to hook the two drives up. Put this drive in. That's that. You can leave it like that, as long as you don't bump it, you're fine. Okay, so I have another camera, that's all I have at the moment, so yeah, I'm just going to hit the F11 key on here, which is the boot, because I don't want it to boot up into the operating system. Identified both hard drives now, pressing the F8. Yeah, the checked up warning came up to default because I think the battery on this BIOS is getting old. So I don't often get that warning normally, but the battery on this is getting old, so it keeps forgetting stuff. That's why it's a test system. Oh, duh. Steady me, I forgot to put a flash drive in. Won't work without that. Okay, so put the Cronus disk in the front port here. That would work. And just reboot and do it again. Yeah, it won't work without boot disk. Yeah, you need a flash drive in there, otherwise it won't do anything. So I think it's in the hard disk drive. Oh no. F4 exit in removable, and there's the okay, right. What's happened here is that the operating system's loading up. It's not gone to the flash drive. I think this is an issue with some of these. That's the test disk. That's fine. So yeah, it's an issue with some of these. It's an issue with this. Some BIOSes, I'm afraid, on older systems. I forgot to mention. Let's see, I can actually do it now. I'll show you why. Let me just go back to Rufus again, and if I go back into the select disk image and into Cronus, oh, that's interesting. Anyway, let me actually do the additional. This may be a bit difficult than I thought on this old system, because the issue is that there's an option on the actual advanced drive properties which is greyed out here for some reason, which is add fix for old BIOSes. When this is enabled, what it does is realigns the partition and adds an additional drive header to the flash drive. So when you put in some systems like this, it will recognise it as a hard drive and boot. But I think it's had to do with the Cronus image that it won't let you do it. Probably doesn't want any other type of partition made, because this is like a general imaging disk. So it may be a little bit tricky on this system, because it will not boot up unless it picks up that image. And the other issue is I don't have any other system that requires this drive. Only my main system, but I don't want to use that. So what I will do for now is I will I don't know if it's a flash drive or not, I don't know. Let me just try another flash drive in case it's this flash drive is not happy with. say, it's put enough drive in, so that's the no label, and I switched to the UBT, and it still won't let me. So it looks like it's something to do with the image. They won't let you do it. No. Because if I select another image, for instance, the UV Life, I can actually highlight it. But if I select the Cronus, it will not. It's a specific image. Some images do this because they can't be altered. So yeah, so the only way I can do this is if I put it on a CD, and there's no CD drive in this unit, so that's going to be handy. So I think I'll actually do this another date for doing this because I've got another way at the moment to do that, and it's a bit awkward. So yeah, but like I say, I'll probably end up doing this at another time. I think I'll do that another time when I show you more about Cronus, because I can set up a few images and test it on something else. But yeah, so I leave that now for that one. So, but that's how you do images. But like I say, it looks like it's not liking it. But anyways, I can still use backup tools. Like I say, I can still use the that's interesting. I see, I just spotted something. Oh, that's interesting. Looks like Cronus actually completely reset this flash drive because the Windows doesn't pick up anymore. It's not that it doesn't show up in the doesn't show up here at all. It looks like it actually when it creates a flash drive on the new media. This is the newest one. It looks like it completely hides the flash drive. Must turn it into a sort of I don't know. I think it does something to it, but I can see it in the disk management, but it's not showing up anywhere. So I think it's designed to be as a that's probably configures it so it can't be written to. Configures it a certain way it can't be written to, so you don't accidentally override it with doing copies and stuff. So yeah, that's interesting. Like I say, I can't do it on this one because it, if you attempt to, it will simply it won't boot to it because the BIOS doesn't understand it. So it thinks it's an I can't. It's always had it with this one. But anyway, so do the other type of way we can do. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, so this looks like that one's a bit of a no-go, but I can show the other way anyway. So I can show the free way. So yes, it. Well, so I'll do the Cronus at a date because okay, so I put the other flash drive in, and you can see it's now the flash drive showing here and the hard drive where it's supposed to be. That's what that little option does in Rufus. So if you had the same issue where you create an image of the Rufus, you plug it in and it won't do anything, or it freezes. So you may have to check that option, but if in the Cronus does something to the drive, it has to be precise. So different on all these self systems. But so yeah. So anyway, so here's the boot drive. Now let's select HDD, which access all the HD tools, and then it's got boot management, recovery, device info, Dynastic, cloning, editing, and so on. So I'll go to the cloning, which gives you all the cloning options, and then there's a lot of them here. And the one I normally use is ease us disk copy, which I use this a lot because this is an easy free one, and it always worked for me. So let that load. But yeah, the Cronus will be a bit more simpler because it's a bit more ideal, because this one actually does it like sector by sector, but they're small drives anyway, so I'm not going to do too much. But Cronus is a bit more smarter, and it will do a actual petition. A lot more simpler than this one. This tool sometimes I I normally use this tool just to copy hard drives. It's what it's for. It's not designed to copy partitions, but the Cronus one actually when it does a if I remember, when it does an actual cloning, it actually does stand for the partition each one. That's very more precise than this. So you want to start it. So yeah, but I'll show that another day, anyways, because I'm about to make a few configurations on here. Yeah, I was hoping to show that, but yeah, I think I'll just do that another time when I show them Cronus software more. And it might be more easy to do. I might be able to get another system by then. Well, not another system, but I might be able to. I know my spare Dell will actually boot into this without configuration change, so I think but it's an ID. It's an ID only, but I might be able to. Yeah, I think I'm just waddling on. I think I've got an idea how to do it. I've got plenty of ID drives, so maybe to do that another time. So anyways, this was like a free software. I know it's a bit difficult with the bright on it because of the camera, but let's do this the welcome screen here. There's 19 FPS I can do much, so because welcome to the screen, click next on here, and it's sort of standard. It has two options. You've got disk copy, which performs an entire copy, like old to new, and you've got another one that says partition copy, performs a single partition sector to sector copy, which will copy a single partition to drive to a new location. Now, this is a free software, so I only can do one single partition. This is an issue with anything that's 7 onwards. There's about 3 partitions you have to put together. So the other options is one or the other. So I do a disk copy, which I normally use, and it brings up the little display here. So this is the information. So it's asking for source disk. So the source is what you'd be copying from. So we got 3 disks here. And you can quickly tear it down, it gives you information about the allocation. So the bottom one, disk 2, has 186. Now this is the flash drive. No, I don't want to be copying that. You can see it's got the name of the disk here, label, and it's got the partition, which is a FAT32, which I normally use, so I don't want that one. Disk 1, it says it's a NTFS, and it's 186.31. So that's 186 gig, and disk 0 says 232 gigabytes, and it's an NTFS. They're both running XP. Now, this drive 0 is the 250 is inside the machine, so this is not the disk I want to do, because it also gives you the drive map up here. The disk 1, this is the 180, and it's also given the manufacturer's name here, so it says Fujitsu. This one says Hitachi. And then that drive is actually Fujitsu, so that's the one I want. So I'll select that, which is the one I want, and it also shows you here. So this information down there tells you it's a disk 1 size and the reduction. So this is Fujitsu, and this is the Hitachi. So you can, if you know the manufacturing drive, it's easy. But if you've got 2 identical drives, the same one, you have to make sure they're right. Because if you're copying from a, say, you've got bought a brand new disk, you just blank raw, out of the box, and it's pretty set up and formatted. The software is pretty simple and easy because it will just automatically select the drive that's got data on. So it only shows the drive that's got data. The other one's be blank, so you know which one. But because the other one's got data on, this is a very important step because it's the sources where you're coming from. So I'm going to set the source disk. I click next. It's now going to bring me up to here, and as you can see now, the source disk is now grayed out because you can't copy to a source. And you've got 2 target disks. Now I can't go to here because it's too small, and it gives you a warning here. It says are not the same. Doing this may cause some compatibility problems, basically, and also the software doesn't like it. So yeah. So my only destination is this one here. Now you see it's got information on here. Like I say, if you had a blank new disk, the only thing that would be grayed is the blank disk. So that's what I want to. I can't set that disk. See, won't do me. Just give me information. That's it. So I'm going to select the destination, which is this disk here, and click next. And this is the final screen. So it gives you which one is the source, which is the destination. So the source is the Fujitsu, which is that one, and the destination is the Hitachi. And this screen below shows you what the Hitachi drive will look like. So this is what it looks like at present, and this is what it looks like afterwards. So after copying, it's going to have about 486.59 gigabytes allocated. That means it's not partition drives, it's like a spare section of the drive. And what you can do with that is you can either extend this with a partition software in Windows itself to extend that, or you can make another partition. But that's what that is for. So you got that, and then you got quiet mode, ignore all read-write faults during the copy procedure. So this bot is ideal if you have a drive that's fading, because I think if it's, I'm not sure if it's going to do it or not with this one. May do it with this one. I'll show you what happens why. But yeah, so once you've got that right, you can click the proceed button, and basically up to the screen before you hit this button, you can go back or quit any time. Once you press the proceed button, there's no going back. You literally have wiping the other drive out. So if you put the wrong drive, that's it. So I click proceed, and then it says, "There's a warning: all data on your destination drive will be overwritten." If it was a blank drive, you wouldn't do this. It would just carry on straight away. But because the other one's not blank, it's giving me a warning. Do you want to proceed? So your last basic chance. I say yes, and that's it. And the drive's now been wiped, and it's going to start copying over to the new drive. So this is just like drive sector map. This is what is copying at the moment. The data rate and how long, it's calculating how long time, and this is always random. And so far it's not actually too bad doing spare. So it's actually done. It says running time is about 2 hours. That's random. So far it's only done on 1 gig, so yeah. It says that, but it's always going to be that. Because for instance, I've copied, as I did before, I did the 250 to 350, set the same time for hours, so it's always random. Also, it depends on. The other things that can cause the copying issue is the type of drives that have been copied. For instance, that's a 54 speed, and that's a 72, also from hard drive to solid state, for instance, and also the hardware itself. If you've got an old system, it may take a bit longer, so it depends. But normally, when they set that, that's it. You can then go away and just do anything else while it's copying. So it's doing now the progress bars down here. Occasionally after 15 minutes this will go blank because it goes to the monitor to see, just moving the mouse occasionally to see what your state is doing. But that's how that's doing at the moment. So that's that. So that's now copying all the data across from that drive to this drive. And this is also another idea also because, like I say before, this drive's fading. And if you have that issue where if you start up a machine, you find it's getting slower, and also start making noises. This one's making odd noises occasionally. It's a telltale sign the hard drive's failing. Now, normally, when that's happening, it's advisable not to keep using the drives because the longer you use it, the more risky it is. It can fail completely. That's what happened to one of my drives before. So the best thing is to set it off, and this is the more ideal way to do it because that way you can take that drive out and put it in another machine, and then, or like I say, get another hard drive, hook it up, boot up, and then clone it. So this is a good way to clone it because that way you only clone that to your new hard drive. When you put the new hard drive in the laptop, it will work as before. Yeah, and then your data is safe. But another method for doing this is if you're going to be backing the hard drive up. There's another way of backing hard drives up, so you can back it up to the hard drive, and then if the other drive, if you mess up, you can reverse it. But this is what I normally do if I'm doing Dynastics with. I get occasionally laptops and stuff that people want to do, and if I had to restore it, I would normally either clone it or pull away the information off and then put it back later. But this is the general work. This is how you do Dynastic cloning. I want to do these 3 Cronus ones because it has a bit more. It's a bit more ideal. Excuse me. You can do a lot more general things, but also at the same time, it can. Does a couple of things. It identifies each drive. Well, new folder will do it anyways, but also Cronus is very good at reducing the size down. So for instance, I had the 320 drive in here, for instance, I want to go to the solid state, and I'm going to pick on this 160. The Cronus will let you go down, but as long as the data doesn't go over the 160 mark, you can do that. The reason I say this because a lot of laptops are about 500 gigs to 1000 gigs these days, and all mechanical, and I don't see many people use that for storage. And it's also advisable to always swap the mechanical drive to solid state CPU laptops because they're more durable and a lot quicker. And most of the time it would work going straight down, because a 250 drive is about maybe, I don't know how much they are now, but 40-50 pounds roughly. Excuse me. So yeah, so credits now you go up and down. Sorry, I'm still recovering from a bit of a cough at the moment in the week, but yeah. Excuse me. Still recovering from my cold today, so but yeah. So that's what it really does. Yeah, so that's basically what it does. Basically, it covers the two together. So yeah, that's it. So there's a number of ways you can use the cloning software, but like I say, this is a free software. It'll go equal or higher, but I've tried to know. I've tried it before. It won't do it. But I know some paid servers like the Cronus, they will let you do both together. And like I say, they will clone any drives. For instance, if I hooked up this 80 gig to this machine, and then put the solid state in, I can go from there to there, and vice versa, if you wanted to do that. So yes, this thing can do a lot of general work with it. So yeah. So it's yes. Excuse me. So yes, this takes a while to do. Very on dry speed, if you ask me. Like I say, it's about 2 minutes, but I'm not sure. I can say this drive is on its way out, so maybe you have sometimes issues scanning the drive. That's the general gist of this. Let it run. Excuse me, I know it's a bit naughty me doing that, but I'm not bothered what people see. So yeah, so that's the general gist of this, and like I say, after a while it copies over, it will then so once it's done the data crossover, it will then, you can then, once it's completed, it will then complete itself, and you just turn it off and then reboot from the other drive if you wanted to do that. It's simple, but this is how it's easy just to clone drives. Like I say, identical size to identical size, you could up, but you can't go down on some software, but it varies. But some software let you do that, as long as you've got the drive space to fit it in. And like I say, it varies, and like I say, the speed varies on hard drive, how old the hard drive is, what you're transferring it to, and also how you're transferring it to. So over the USB may be a bit longer than internally, and these are set to in here. Also, like I said before, that one's a laptop, so it's only a 54 RAM, and the other's a desktop, 72, but still. And also depends on your PC. So yeah, but it's not going to go blissfully fast. If you had two solid state drives, maybe, but yeah. This is very handy, yeah. So, and like I say, cloning a drive. So this is also another thing about the cloning a drive is it's everything on that drive. So if the drive had a virus or anything else and you were copying it over, it's there as well. But this is very handy if the hard drive is failing, because you can dump your stuff onto the new drive, plug the new drive in straight in, and it will go as well. And also, if it was a retail machine like it was an OEM machine like a laptop or desktop, it will have the recovery of the as we copy the recovery over also, so it means you use it to recover the machine back to factory. So it has that benefit as well. But yeah, that's the general gist of these type of devices. It's up to 6%, but like I say, it's going to take some time. Like I say also, because it's been sector per sector, if there's data it takes a lot longer, on blank it will go a bit quicker. Not sure how much storage is on here. Although it showed 160 for blue, it doesn't actually show what's actually on the drive, so to say. For Cronus, a little bit easier because it identifies the sections and actually shows you the percentages using. So yeah, so this is a general thing. Like I say, this software I've used a few times and it's always worked for me. Because I've had the laptop before where it was completely, it was a dead drive, but I managed to use the software to move sector 0. Well, it was damaged sector 0, which is basically the first section of the drive. I managed to recover it somehow, but using a different software to slightly force it to recover. It took a few days to do, but managed to get the drive working. Managed to use some software to recover the partitions, and then I used the copy the hard drive over, recover the partitions, put it in that laptop, and it then worked again. Like it was, nothing happened to it. Yeah, it's just that's what happened after 50 minutes. It just goes off. 10 minutes. So yes, it could do very handy jobs, but then this is the ideal thing. So if your hard drive is failing, it's the best thing to do first, because that way. Because I know a few times it just failed. You think, oh, I'll fix it, I'll get it done, and then the more and more you use it, the worse you get, and then one day you turn it on and it won't respond. That's what's happened to these drives here. So that's another drive there. So that's what's happened to these drives here. These are some old drives I've got. That's a blank drive. So that's what happened to this drive. So this is another laptop drive, and that's happened to this one. BIOS recognises it, it won't boot. And the partitions are gone, and the Dynastic says no. So this is actually came out of a laptop, and it's completely dead. It's not clicking anything. It does make some odd noises, but the information is not recoverable unless you take it to an actual specialist. So yeah, that's how far it can go before it wrecks itself. This is one of my older Samsung drive. I had my 98 on it. I think I might have shown that before. It booted up when I moved here. I was making loads of clicking noises, and the next time it booted, it was failing. So I wanted to try and get some stuff off it, and then next time it booted, it didn't want to work anymore. Makes the click of death. That's it. But anyways, there's not much information on there. Anyways, I found out after it's all on this drive. This is the same. It also has a hiccup, and the Dynastic goes in error, and it's a dead drive. And this is a very old drive which just clashes or do a crash on itself. You can read it, start copying information, but then it would just sort of I think it's a sector crash or something, and it would just lock the system up. But it's a very old. This one is a Quantum, who was owned by Maxtor, and now it's by Seagate. This is a Quantum 2 gig. And it came out of a HP machine because it's got an actually HD label on it. So yeah, so that's an old one there. And most of these other drives came out of old systems that were given to or had them laying around. That came out one. This came out of a laptop. And this one I brought brand new in 2004. So this over a long time, and this drive was actually used. This drive was my main drive for a lot of stuff. So it was used in all my 98 machines and my X3 machines before I switched to SAT. So it did a very good job. Like I say, hard drives could last a long time. It could last 10 years or more, or they could last within a year or so. So yeah, this is why I say this is always suggested for backup. So yeah, but always do that. That's the general things. And what I'm going to do with these drives is I'm going to actually, once I've done here, near the end of it, I'm going to actually take these apart to see what they look like and show you the different status and also the reasons so I don't accidentally pick them up again, picking their new drives. Same with that one, I'm going to do it once it's copied, because I think the drives anymore is better if you're stripping down that way. I don't exactly get it area. This one needs to be formatted to 0 so that it's ready for new stuff, and this drive just show data storage, but you go back into storage. So yeah, so at the moment it's done about up to 20 gigs, and it's still staying 2 hours. I hope it's not 2 hours, I'll be bored of anything. So yeah, that's the general gist of this, but like I say, it's a standard cloning software, and like I say, it varies on speed and software. It's like sector to sector, but the Cronus can do sector to sector, or we can simply just image it over the but they're pretty good. So that's the general gist of this. It's just doing a general test. But yeah, after this, what I want to do is once it's finished cloning, I will then take this drive out, and then I will hook up the solid state drive and the other drive, and then I'll boot up the other OS to show you how to copy information across the drives, so you know how it works. And then after that, once I've done all of that, that'll be the end of this one. So then what I'll be doing is I'll be but after that I'll be doing the installation of the OSs that I have that need to install, because like I say, I've got to reinstall 98 in my Alpha system. I have to install XP on the other one with a dual boot, because it's been set up for just a standard unit out of the way. And yeah, that's the next one I've been also is installation of showing what dual booting is. Some people don't know about that, and maybe a handy thing to have. Like I say, I also got another one coming up, but I want to show the full Cronus. Like I say, you got the bootable option and on the software itself, so I want to show you how that works correctly. Yeah, by that time I'm about just outside out with the other machine to get it to a dual boot. Not dual boot, sorry, to get a actually that thing might be handy, because I can do a it's better. It's an ID only, but I didn't realise I could do that. Yeah, I think I've got away now, just to realise I've got a SATA caddy, and the Cronus will clone a machine from internal to external, so yeah, I could do that. Or spare blank one here somewhere I could use. Just realised that while I speak about it here now, yeah, I could do that. So I can still show it. I can show it on a brand new disc. Yeah, I forgot about that. I could do that. Dummy. But I'll show it on a separate one that makes more in depth on each one, and we just all speed things out with it. But yeah. Sit there. Okay, right. The process is actually. Hang on a sec. Yeah. Okay, what it's doing now is it's okay, at the moment it's actually holding itself at a point at the moment, because I think it might have hit one of the bad sectors on the drive. Like I say, this drive is a bit when it's whacking everything. There you go. Fail to read sector. You can either retry it. Let's see. Like I say, this is failing hard drive, so it's picked the first text, it can't read it, so it's going to try and you can click trying to read it. And let's see, it says one first error here. So it's going to try and scan the drive again. Not the hard drive, it's that sector it's having trouble reading. If not, I can select ignore all, which means it would ignore any more errors that came up. That's what I'm saying, that little tick box you saw before the process. If you know the drive's very late, you can click on that and let it go, and if it picks up the errors, you have to do it. But it's a read error, it means it can't read it. The write error is only for it's writing to the other drive, so if you had a failing drive, you would have that. If you've accidentally used a spare drive and it's a write error, it means you can write to it, but what it does, I think it would skip that drive over. Yes, that's what it's doing now. It's actually hanging because it's having trouble reading the drive. Try to read it a few times and they give up the warning. So what I'm going to do is say ignore all. As I say, this drive was flagged up error anyway, so it was failing. But as I say now, if you notice the drive starting to do that, then let's say you would do it as early as possible. You have these problems because the longer you keep doing it, eventually you get these. Once you start getting sector errors, the drive is almost gone. You get more and more and more, and eventually just go. So it's done now. So it's doing. There's another general check of the drive. Is that the data rate stops because it's just holding. Let's see if it will jump. No, it says 3 hours. Yeah, it says read error 2. And so it's actually hit a section of the drive which is probably a small cluster of the drive that's damaged. I think that hard drive before was worse because it was in a GP case, and I noticed the hard drive was this way rather than this way, and it was on a very flimsy tray. And it wasn't clipped in properly, so I think someone bumped the drive when it was working, it went like that, and the head went slamming against it and made it probably the last perfect line on the disc on the platter. So it would constantly do this and figure it out. So either this drive's had the same thing or it's just hit a small area. But yeah, that's the general gist of it. It's just failing. So it says now reading 2. And the timer keeps going up. So, and also the bit rate's dropping. It's constantly trying to write over it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to stop the process here, because aborting the copy process may cause impact data on your destination disk or abort anyways. Yeah, basically it says your destination disk would be whacked. So I'm going to do that now because I know this drive is whacked. It's going to take forever to do, and I don't think you want to be sitting around for that. But normally I would say let it run overnight, let it just do its job of clicking in. If you know the drive's failing, click the ignore and just let it go and just let the machine work to try and read as much as possible. Because even though if this disk doesn't even boot, if it can still copy your data over, you can still go into it and pull the data off still. So it still has its advantage. But I'll say if you're going to be doing that, make sure that you have a drive that's fully functional. Well, not functionally failing, just as soon as possible. If you do it too late like this, it's going to give you more troublesome. So I've clicked on the abort, so I've got to wait for it to I guess it's the copy process be ported because I did it, yeah. And anyways, when this actually completes anyways, it will say it's a succeed or it may come with problems, and it tells you what the status is. So it says 4 await errors. Click quit to exit, click down to return the first wizard page, so just do done. Like I say, we did petition copy, you can copy the entire petition. So what that works is that this is the most, so let's click the source, which is the Apache, or the Fujitsu. Please select the petition as the source to continue. So that's the please choose a disk to copy the source partition to. So yeah, so press next first. It says please choose a disk to copy the source partition to. So the source partition is please set a source partition. So the source partition would be the Attache drive. Yeah. Next, please select the destination disk. Oops, back. That's why the back buttons are handy. Please choose a source. So the source disk would be the one you're copying from. So it'd be this one, which is the Fujitsu. That's interesting. Oh, actually, no, yeah. You set the partition that you want, so the source is this one. So you actually don't set the drive itself, you set the actual partition. So that's that one. So it's this one I want. So it's partition, interface size 186, status active, primary logic properly. Click next, it says choose a disk to copy the source partition to. So it's destination, so the destination disk. And the information of that part, so it says please select the partition or allocate space to copy the source partition to. So you can select it. So do that, and then it'll tell you here what it does. So it will go 1 to 0, file interface, no label, size 8630, say it's primary active, and then it's supposed to put the destination out. So this is what it looks like at the moment on the Attache, and this is what it looks like after it's on the Attache. I'm going to deal with the quiet mode this time, so it doesn't do anything. All data in a destination display variety, yes, and I think this one will be a little bit quicker because what it's going to do is it's just going to copy the partition. It's not going to do a sector by sector. I think the copy disk is actually copying the entire disk, I think, and it's just sector by sector, but it's copying the partition, so it's going to copy one section of the drive. So this should be able to I'm actually not quite sure, I've never done this one before. Yeah, I think this mode is actually is a sector copy, so it's going to it may buff up the frame area after a while. Yeah. Yes, I think that's the same measure as the copy tool. I think I bought it anyway because I wanted to go through that feed again. Yeah, just quickly it said what you want to do. I want to shut down because I want to turn the system off. Yeah, I think that there's two modes. The one that's the partition is only one partition, so yeah, only one partition on the drive is that. I think that's a bug in the software. I did a shutdown and rebooted. Yeah, so I think that's what the issue with that is that the copy disk will copy the entire disk, and the partition will only partition a certain partition. So that's more ideal. We have one partition on the drive. But modern machines, like anything with 7 onwards, has two because you have. Well, especially with 10, because you've got one partition which is the operating system, and another one's the recovery. They have to be paired, otherwise it won't do anything. Because of the new recovery on 8 onwards, so yeah. So that's that one there. So what we need to do now is set the new one up. So this process now, if we wanted to recover data off the machine, so you have a flash drive for the operating system, put that into there, and then I'm going to swap the drives over now. Just give me a minute. So let's swap these over. So I'm going to take the other drive out. We don't need this one for now. I'm going to leave the hard drive there now because I need that. But I'm going to use this drive, and I'm going to hook up the solid state drives. Solid state drive in there with the drive. That you can do anything with it, it won't break. And I'm going to hook up the ID drive. Now with this you have to make sure the settings are set. So this is set to, well, it's set to slave in the moment, which is fine, but if you had, you're going to put two ID drives in this one, you either want to set it to either master, one's master, one's slave, we put them both together, the actual software cloud will lock up because it will see two masters and it won't like it. Although the others are, so yeah, so just hook them up to the well, any cable's fine. If you set cable select, and one of this is master, one is slave. That's the master and that's the slave. That's why I don't colour, so if you put cable select, it makes it easier, but if it's slave, it doesn't matter which one you put it in. So I'll just put it into there. And the Molex cable for that. So there's the 3 hard drives. And let's boot them up. And, F11 on here will boot up the boot disk. Yeah, there the ID drive. You hear that? So you can see it identifies all the drives. I didn't want to do that. Yeah, sometimes it doesn't recognise keyboard strokes. Don't always recognise on this. That's about this machine now. It is on it's a very old machine. There you go. You need beeping now. So I'm pushing the key so many times. There you go. Does a really off of why it does that, but it's just not good. Hard drives. There's all the hard drives. So yeah, channel 0 is the ID controller, so it says S, which is slave, and it recognises it, so it's slave. Channel 2 and channel 3 are the SATA controllers, and there's always a master because there's no slave on them. So there's the Intel, which is the solid state, and the Fujitsu, which is the hard drive, the other hard drive, and this one's the flash drive. This is the USB HD0, the disco. I've had that for a very long time, but yeah. Okay, this is the Ultimate Boot Live, so you've got safe mode in general. Generally works, and it will load up the actual live disk. You have a boot tool that comes with the, from same people who did the tour did. There's more of a live disk, so it's giving you more environment, desk environment, and a few tools as well. You can do cloning and all that on it as well, but I'm going to use this for. I'm going to use this tool for general. Yeah, it's still running, so I can see the hard drive LED flashing. It's sticking right to boot, and I can see it flashing on the LED. So I think I find out most flash drives they took that off, which is like, is it working? But yeah, there's no loading in. If you actually put the drives back to front, this will just halt. I found out when I was testing these before, but one of them couldn't understand it. I put out to set it, and it saw 2 masters and went no. Anyways, it's just loading in the bio environment. Anyway, I was not saying, yeah, once it does this, it's fully loading. If it halts, you don't go beyond this type, you know, when it changes the resolution, you've put the drive in wrong. It doesn't worry about SATAs, but if you had one PATA drive or IDE, if you 2 IDEs, you may just tweak the jumpers. Anyways, it's doing a general thing. So this is what this is. But look, the tools I'm normally using here is the file management, which allows you to access the drives and copy. There's another one which is a test tool, which I found handy because I've had a flash drive before, so I had an issue where they went using safe removal, just putting it out, and it completely broke. They saying to want the format, but I knew the sections were still there, so I used the select all on here to access the drive, and you can see the partition table, and I instructed it to. I can access it and then I can use it as a read-only to pull the data off, so I managed to pull it off onto another drive and then reformat the drive and put it back. So it was over the stuff, and I showed him how to do the removal, and that's it. Okay, so when it boots, it comes up this, and it comes up with the date time, because the date time's correct on the bars, but this is it puts it to whatever time zone this is. If you hook it up to the internet, you can update it, but I would say to just do this, so that way when you're copying files, they don't give incorrect timestamps. So I want to go down to here. So I'll show you a bit, because I want to sit on something. It's got all the time zones, it'll be forever. See, I want to go to Europe? Nope, no. Europe, London, that's what I want. Because I'm in UK, so that's the latest that it gave to me. And I want to set this to. What is it now? 6:52. Okay, I'll do that now. Set the date at 25th October, yep. That's right. This is what the general tool is. So you have keyboard layout. These are single clicks on this here. So single tab is automatic. I normally set this up to. It's always because it's made in set up in the USA. It's always general, but I normally set this to this anyway, so it recognises my other keystrokes. But you don't need to do this all the time. Monitor select, you can change the monitor with everything else. Wire manager for wireless to set it up. Terminal for general stuff. Just like using a Linux system. So, and system is all the system tools. We've got gpartition, which does all the partitioning, which is I'll probably do that as well because I need to reset that drive. Yeah, I'm doing it now, so I don't confuse the drive. So that's what this does. Is allows you to gpartition allows you to adjust the partition sizes, so you can erase partitions, shrink, increase size, create partitions, all that lot. So this is a good device for checking up partitions and that. You wouldn't need it now for like anything with Vista onwards, because you can go into device management. I think it was a bit issue with the XP. But yeah, so this is just all the additions. So like I say now, I'll give you a standard look at this. So SD8 drive 150 gigabyte. That's the right. This is the actual solid state. And this is like I said before. It's got two oases on it. You can see. So what NTVS. So these are all the drives that it sees. So you got SDEA 0. This is what this is. Then you have B, which is the next drive up, which this one is, which this is the 180 gig of a drive, and then you have drive C, which is the 80 gig, and then so in letterized, so it's I think this is how Linux does it. So you've got SD A B C, yeah, A B C. Yeah, oh yeah, ABC, yeah, that's a 500 gig drive. I don't use 2 gig drives, so that's what confused me. That's the flash drive at the bottom. So A, B, C, D. So yeah, so that's how a Linux system works by the tree. Device A is your primary, B, C, D, whatever order it is on the drive section. And I think there's another letter for optical drive, I think. But yeah, anyways, that's how it works. So what you do is select the drive. So this one here is the solid state 160 Intel one. Well, I know this because I know when it is. So you see the two positions here. This is SDA2, which is 81.94 gigs, and then there's another 162 here, and then there's another position here. This is the 98 in the XP laptop, so this one is the Windows, and then ext4 is an actual partition that Linux uses, so that's that one, and then there's the Linux swamp file for that one, so that's that. But you can see it says, and like I say, if you have various partitions on the drive, also the way it works is say it says device and then SDA, which is hard drive A and B, C, whatever it's in line, but also it has numbers after, so you have 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6, and they're the partition sections of the drive. So you've got partition 1, partition 2, partition 3, and partition 5. I can show that on the hard drive. So I go to the next drive, it's only got an SB1 because it's only got one NTVS, which is just the boot drive, and so on. FAT32, and like I say, it auto identifies it. So NTVS is a general one, which is used in XP onwards, and before that in NTRSs, which is not really a server-based ones, or pros at that time. Same in that one. This one C, which it says it has file location 32. That was used in 95 and 98 in ME size at the time. That's the file format, but also flash drives use them well to use boot disks, so that's what they do. So it's going to identify them each one. See, this is the FAT32 also. The other one is just this is stuff that unknown. It's a section that Rufus makes to make sure old bastards can boot without they would do anything. So that's what that's for. And like I say, unallocated, if any, it would be shown up in the files. For instance, this is unallocated. This little section is blank, so you can make a petition if you can, but they normally leave it blank for some reasons. This one's a full one, so yeah. It tells you what you can do, and decides that it tells you it's bootable or not. So yeah, so that's how it basically works. And with this you can add drives, delete drives, and do everything and reset it all. So it's handy if you need to do that. But okay, so the system there. Hard drive information gives integration. Rescue is all your rescue, so it got cloning, clear the CMOS, if you need the CMOS, erase, can erase the disk. There's a file data recovery on here, they've tried it before. And a test disk partition recovery. That's recovering partitions. So you can sometimes, if you accidentally delete a partition, you can try bringing it back before. Normally you can do that, and it's normally successful because you can normally draw it back. But once you've overwritten a certain area, it won't do it. So this is what I'm using. This is how I recover some information off of the flash drive. And generous is generous. You've got Notepad, terminal, web browser, PDF file, and spare state. So what is the spare state here? Which brings up a file management. So this file management is, I have to turn the team side so I can see it, but this is the general file partition on a Linux. So I click on the little hard drive, it brings up all the hard drives here. So this is all the hard drives. So you've got, like I said before, not the top one, but it's yeah. So you got let's close all these here. So that's this root drive. So you have the, see it says these ones plus and minus, it knows it's a solid state, so you can use that to eject, that's your portable. So the hard drives are here, you have to enter each side, so you have ST1, which is, so yeah, so SA1, SA2, 83, 84, 85, that's drive 1 here. B is the next drive, C is the next drive. So yeah, every time we have a drive, they will pop up here. So let's do SD1. So this is the oh, this one's the actual boot up area. So this is the boot up section of the actual drive. This is a Linux drive, that's right. So the 82, this is the Windows partition. This is dual boot, so. And this is Windows 10, so anything from Vista onwards, if you wanted to find information, it's normally under here, which is under the user. So if you go into the user, this brings all the users up, whatever's in there. So there's my name there with my information. But like I say, default is to where everything goes in default. Public's a shared folder, and to do it. And if any other ones would pop up here. So if I click on here, there's all my access to where all the information is. And normally it's documentation, all the documentations, like downloads, all the downloads. But yeah, so that's how that generally works. So what I would normally do is, like pictures of the same pictures and whatnot, so if you wanted to pull the data off, I would say, go to your Windows one, this is a 90, Vista almost exists, so go to the user here, and I would say you need to plug in another drive, you need to plug in another spare drive to work. I don't know if it's read this, I want to see. So you Yep, this doesn't like it. With a Linux system, it will not read the exFAT. This is something to do with something to put into Windows lately. That if you have a certain drive outside of the flash drive, it gives you an option of exFAT or NTTOS. And they say that the exFAT works better on large drives. Only you can get this to work on Linux, but you have to install additional software. It won't work on this boot drive, so that won't work with it. So what I need to do is right click on it and say eject. Yeah, what is it? Yeah. Yeah, someone's actually it's not meant anymore, so I can take it out. Yeah, so that's basically it. But basically, you can plug drives in and work it, but that doesn't want to work with that because of its partition. I wonder if I put that in. Yeah, see, this is the Cronus that tried earlier on with boot, but you can see it's pulled up all its information. See, so you can read that easily. And so that's always basically turned it into a software disk. So yeah. So that's to say you can do that different drives, and like I say, that will work, that will work. So it's anything except for NXT5. But anyways, if you decide to if you just plug a flash drive in or external hard drive straight into it, you can bring it up, and then what you can do is you can just use it as like an file management. You can open it up and then drag and drop and copy information from one to the other, so that way you can copy it either to another hard drive inside or an external drive and copy your data over, and then you can access it on another machine. So that's how you can do it. And like I said, the same thing, this is also, so on Windows you'll go to that drive, on the other one, which is the set the D5, the other 63 gigs, this is the actual, this is running Mint software on this. This is what the directory looks like on a Ubuntu. And what you want to do is, this is using Ubuntu or any Linux, you want to go into the home folder, which is where the home folder is. There's my name there, and this is where all the information is for your things, like your videos, pictures, music, and downloads. Then on the desktop, and the documents, and also, so yeah, so everything's stored in here, see. So that's basically everything stored onto here, which is onto this sort of file here. So that's how you can access the storage information to allow you to do that. And like I say, you can just right click a file if you wanted to, and then have a click on to edit, copy to location, and then I want to go to the storage. No, that's the storage drive. Easy way to do that is to just open another, click on the space again, open 2, we'll go into the UVD. I should be able just to oh, it's a read-only file system, so basically it reads it. A bit picky, are we? Okay. You can't copy to the flash drive with the boot drive, so it won't let you do it. So if I just plug in the other, another spare flash drive, which is the other drive. And I should be able to just do that. Here we go. Yeah. So it's a clean drive. If you have a boot drive, I can still put stuff onto it, so that you can just copy that across. So that's how easy it is. Just drag and drop. It doesn't make the OS system; it will do it. And the same thing also. So if I go to SDB1, which is the Fujitsu drive. Now, this is running XP. So to access the documents on an XP, you would go into the document and setting folder, and be a user for this one. So this is the entire drive that sits on that hard drive, and this was that failing hard drive. Yeah, so this is the hard drive was used in it, and that's how you can access files. So if your drive is failing, like this one is, or incorrect boot up, you can do it. So this is XP below, so you go into document settings and then put it off if you know what it is, and say with Windows 10, which is this one, it's under users, and if you're on a Linux, you just go into the home folder and put it out. Each user will have one here, so that's how you get your documentations off each machine. Like I say, also it works on other machines as well. So we go to the storage. This is this mechanical drive. This one here. There's a 532. Like I said before, this is storage, so I can pull this data off as well. See, so you can do the same thing. Move these across, and it works with any format drive. And that's no OS on it. It's just a storage, like a secondary drive, so you can still use this to access it. This is how we access drives, and then you simply copy it across to copy the folder to either a flash drive or a external drive over to it, so that way your data is stored. And like I say, also when you copy something out of the I haven't tried it before, but yeah, if you copy something out of the actual Linux folder and put it into the actual flash drive, because you're copying it to an NST file, because you're transferring it over to an NSTF FAT table or NATS, which Windows can recognize, you can actually access that folder, so you can put it into Windows and still look at it, even though it came from a different OS. As long as the Windows can see it, it will open it, and any files it recognizes open. So that's the general thing. So that's how you can actually do that with these drives. You can do simple things. So that's how you can access storage drive without an OS. You can do that. Damage OS, so this one's failing, and you want to try and rescue your data. So that's the easiest thing to do. And also a dual boot drive or a drive that doesn't run Windows, you can do the same thing. You can use this to access it, since Windows can't read that drive. It's a Linux basis, and you can do that easily. But also you can actually access drives that are, for instance, if you didn't close Windows properly, sometimes when you click on it, give you a warning saying that the operating system is successfully shut down, or it can't read it right. So what you can do is you can put a command into it, which is space RD, I think it is. It gives you information when you do it, and when it does, it puts that drive into read only, which means you can't write to the disk, but you can still pull the information off. So even though the disk is not writable, you can switch it to read only, so you can view the drive, and you can simply just pull it off and put it onto a writable drive, which is a flash drive. So you can still do that, which I can show you here anyway. So if I go to is it? Oh, it's this one here. It's 451. This is the boot drive. It's just the flash drive, and now to boot this up. I can't write to it because it's a read only, but I can still pull files off of it. I wanted to. So, for instance, if I pull the checksum, I switch this over to the other USB drive, so I can still pull the checksum drive and still put it up. So there it is there. So I can actually still pull readable drives information off. So even if you can't write to that drive, you can still copy over. So yeah, we'll still do that, yeah. You can still do it with the software, yeah. So that's the one good advantage of this type of software. It allows you to do that. So this is a very handy way of copying information without booting. Like I say, if you didn't have a Linux system, for instance, you had just Windows, you can just use another Windows system to transfer over. So you can still do that. But this is ideal for if you don't have a bootable OS, for instance. There's no boot OS on here. It's just blank drives. So you can use a create flash drive boot. I know so you boot a CD because it does the boot, but you can still use a like a Linux distro to boot up. For instance, if you were going to install a, let's say it's still in Mint, you can use it in live mode and still do the same thing. Because this is still a Linux type of environment, but this has a few other tools. But that's the general gist of how you do it. You simply plug a drive in and then do the general things. And this is the easiest way to copy stuff off. So you basically would plug the drives in, access. You would only have 2 drives normally, or just one. I'm just trying to how to do multiple stuff at once, but generally you just plug one drive in, boot this up, go to space. I'll say close all these top windows open. This remembers where you went last, so close them all up. Get little disk drives, it brings all the drives up, and then I'll say select your drive SDA, which would be your first drive. Open it again, bring up another window, and then select your whatever drive you plugged in. So if you plug in a drive that's not externally, it will bring it after the drives here. You have a plus and a minus. So these are all the portable drives. So that's that one, and like I say, that's that. So I can just simply pull that and push it over here. It's just like I do with Windows OS. Just do that straight away to each one. Actually, even multiple drives, or if you had an internal drive, it would be like I said before, SD1 is the primary, SD2 is the secondary. So if you had 2 hard drives together, no, SDB is the secondary. Sorry, which is this Dell one here. So you can, if you had 2 drives in the machine, and one was a storage drive, you can still drag over to it externally or internally. So there's a lot of things you could do with this. But yeah, that's generally how you would do that. How you would copy drive over to drive over without an OS. So for instance, your OS went buggery. Even if the OS was failing, you can still do this, because once you copy your data over to a flash drive or an external hard drive, that's safe. So what you can do after this is to either replace the hard, in the zone you can then replace the hard drive by buying a new hard drive, reinstalling the OS, and then put your data back. Or this is another handy thing, if you have to reformat the hard drive, for instance, you had a virus and it was completely, you couldn't remove it until we had to restore it, but when you do that, it wipes the drive. So you can do this to copy your data over, and then use the whatever comes to the manufacturer to wipe the hard drive clean, and then reinstall everything and then put the data back on. But like I say, as long as your data's off, it's there. And like I say, once you've copied it to a flash drive, you can use any system to move it around where you want afterwards, but as long as you take off the main drives. And this is why I say it's handy, because for instance, this is a storage only. There's still, if I hook this up to an external drive, it's still right with any Windows, and it's still readable with a Linux system as well, so you can still do that. This one, like I say, it's failing, but easy to access it, to pull the data off. And the other one's dual boot, so you have to use a Linux system to get access to the Linux distro side, because Windows doesn't know it, but it will read both anyways. And like I say, if you put anything off of that onto another system that's readable, Windows will read it afterwards because it sees the correct file table. So that's how you generally do it. And like I say, also, if you're going to work on another drive, I'd say back up by cloning first and then sort it out afterwards. But yeah, that's how you do generally with each of these machines. But you can do it with any of these. You can do it with any hard drive. Like I say, for instance, they're all different drives here. So you want a flash drive, you can do it. Mechanical drive, which is a laptop, that's the SATA, and that's a desktop IDE. So it doesn't matter what it is, you can do it. You can even plug any other flash drives and copy each other over as well. So you can easily do it as long as it's readable. You can do it. And hopefully that helps how you generally work. And like I say, it's the easiest thing to do. I can even show you that now. So I finished this now, so I'm going to shut this down now because I need to prep this system for something else. Yeah, so I've got to change the drives over and do some other things with it. So yep, shut down. That's it. That's shut down. Let's pull the drives out. It is shut down this time. So yeah, like I say, that's the flash drive now. Which I pulled the information off. So if I put it into here, I switch back to PC. Go into the flash drive here, and as you can see, it's pulled all the data off. So there's the MD5 sum. This is what pulled off of the other link of this flash drive, and the other one is a untitled document 2, which is it's not readable because it was created as a text file rightly from a Ubuntu system, so that's why it can't readable. But you can read it. I won't do it now because I can't remember what's in that, so I'll look at it later on. But yeah, it's readable. It will read up here and it will pull information off. Like I say, it's on the flash drive as before, so we can see it's now access for documents. You move it in any location you want, and that's how easy it is to go from that to that. And the same thing, I've already copied this entire hard drive onto my main drive anyway, so I did that days ago just to test. But yeah, that's how easy it is. And like I say, once you've got it off of those drives that you want to work with, it's a lot more simpler. So yeah, so that's what you want to do. Copy your file off to a flash drive or hard drive, so you know you can look at it later on. And then what you can simply do then is either wipe the hard drive and start again, or replace the hard drive. Or like the other drive would be going back to storage, but that's how you generally do it. And like I say, I hope this is easier, but like I say, it's a bit simple to do. And like I say, I'll be doing a separate video on the Cronus because there's a few things you can do with that. So I want to try and explain how to do a cloning the drive, but also how to create a backup of the drive, because you can use the tool to make an image of the drive. So yeah, so I want to do this separately, and also I do a separate one for all installations because I need to do all that. I want to show you how to do each one. So that's it. I might do that later or not, depending on time. But yeah, so I'm going to set up something up later on. But yeah, so hopefully this has helped out. And like I say, I'm going to be going a lot through all this and general things, but I'll just doing it so it helps the people out if they need to. And like I said before, most of them are live because, like I say, I made a few mistakes here. For instance, I didn't know the Cronus would work with this because it's OS, but also you told me not plugging anything in first time by accident. But yeah, it's a general thing, and like I say, it's all easy to access, and I'm trying to go through things as best as possible, which my own knowledge is. But like I say, you can do this in the system. Like I say, if all your drives are with Windows, you can just plug them into another Windows system as a slave drive or optical external, and just do a drag and drop. But I wanted to show also if you had a different OS altogether, like your boot one for instance, there you can still access that drive still. So yeah, and this is the benefit of the general thing, is to make sure you do this for each system, and do the general job. So yeah, so hopefully that's helped out much about that. I know it's a bit of a long process, but let's try to go through the general things, and hopefully this will just help out a bit. So my next ones will be to I'll see what I need to do. I need to figure out what I need to do next. So hopefully this has helped you out a bit, and I'll do doing a few more things like this whenever I do it. Like I say, anything that comes up, I'll try and do as best as possible. So hopefully this helps out, and thanks for watching again.